Hey everybody, this is Mr. Brooks. This is August the 11th. That's Wednesday. I'm going to go over things we talked about in class for today. We started off with this slide actually. And so we took attendance. We talked about the lesson plan documents. I'm going to go to that real quick and show you what's new with that. And then we're going to do comments and feedback on the assignment, real life math, and um, math anxiety. Okay. So if you go to any, I'm going to pick geometry today, classwork, class documents, and the lesson plans. This is the lesson plan document, and there's one of these for all the classes. So obviously, if you're in financial math, go to the financial math one. But more of these links are up to date right now. You have, all the Zoom links for all the teachers. You have the Zoom link right here and the Delta Math link right here if you're in a classroom that's where you're going to be using that. This is the Meet the Class presentation, so this is up, so you can go there and meet your classmates. We're going to do a follow-up activity with that later in the week. And then the first day of school, this is a video from yesterday, the 10th, the first day of school. And so if you ever miss a class or you want to go back and rewatch what was taught, look over here, and then it'll definitely be in this video library once that link is active. Okay. So today what I would do is I would go to today and I would look at the test tech assignment and open up test tech. And so I'm going to go find the test assignment, and there's two documents here. There is this instructions, then there's this one you do a little bit with Kami. And if you are in Algebra 2, then you do the Algebra 2 stuff. If you're in Geometry, you do the Geometry stuff. And please don't sign up for all the classes. There's always people who are signing up for classes they are not in. If follow the directions for the classes you're in. After you do Delta Math, you sign up for Kami. Everybody will add Kami. There's a video here, so always try to include links for you to learn. I'm not going to take everybody's time going over Kami, but this video should teach you how to use it, and then follow up with me if you have any questions. This is the other document right here. Inevitably, somebody's going to try a graph on this, and I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do any math this week. What I want you to do is play around with it, and so there's instructions over here on the right. I want you to do your best to follow those and then turn it in. So this document will be submitted to Google Classroom. There's Desmos. These are some apps I want you to have on your phone. There was a question about this app for Android. It might not be available for Android, but you can probably find one just like it. But I would highly recommend having something like this on your phone. It's great to do your homework with. So you'll have some worksheets and you can print them out at home and do them on pencil. And I find that extremely good for brain development and all that. And then what you'll do is you'll take this app and take a picture of it, and it'll transform that picture into a PDF where it'll be easy to see, and it'll also be easy to upload into anything. But you can also use this later on, like if you need forms for employment or you need forms for a doctor's office. I use this app all the time because there's always paperwork I need to submit to somewhere, and this is really helpful. This is Google Classroom and Google Drive. I would have those on your phone. I think it's very helpful. And I also want to talk about notifications for those later. This is for financial math. So you need to join this class, and then inevitably something is going to go wrong with technology. So somebody's going to have questions for me about how to get this to work properly, and that's why we're doing it this week and not when you're worried about doing math content. Here's the exit slip right here, so you need to do this exit slip along with turning in that. Okay, so you did the introduce yourself assignment. Oops. And everybody should have, I don't want to show that. Everybody should have this, I mean, not everybody, but you'll see I graded 13, and there's one person that's turned in I have to grade. But when you get these assignments back, I want you to click on this view assignment, and for you, you can see my comments. So there's actually, I have it kind of right here. You'll have comments down here. I want you to read those comments and then reflect back on, what needs to be done differently in the future, or if you need to resubmit. You can always edit your work and then resubmit. And I want you, to have the opportunity, and I encourage you to, try to reflect on any mistakes you want, or if I wanted to go in a different way, or maybe you can, let me know, like, hey, this is really what I was thinking. And even if you don't redo it, but, have that discussion and dialogue. And that's how we're going to grow as mathematicians, is having that dialogue. Um, so just to reiterate, you can always resubmit assignments, and I'll give you full credit as long as it's within reason, or I'll do my best to work with you to make sure that you're going to make it as good as you want. What else about this? So if you have Google Classroom on your phone and you get assignments back, or new assignments are posted, you might get a little ding or buzz for a notification. And we talked about, you don't necessarily want those on. You might want those on, but I would encourage you to turn them off. And so you can have your, your time that you do it. In other words, I don't want you to be working on something and then being distracted by something that's not important. I encourage my kids to do the same thing with all their apps, like Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. There's no reason that your life should be interrupted by something. Like, even for me, when I give something to you, it's not super urgent, and you need to be able to think and focus on what you're doing right then, and then go back and do school when it's school time, or social media when it's social media time, and not constantly have your life interrupted. And the other thing is that teachers are going to post a bunch of stuff at the same time. And if you get buzz, 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 a whole bunch of stuff at once, it can be a little overwhelming. And so, that's not really good to feel overwhelmed by the classes. Starting tomorrow, Algebra 2 is going to be at 9 a.m. and Financial Math is going to be at 9:45. And this is going to be every day unless told otherwise. Okay. And it's the same Zoom link. So you'll use the same Zoom link no matter what. The introduce yourself slideshows were really good. I would encourage you to not try to make math real life, and not that it shouldn't be real life. There are certainly real life applications, and you're going to use math every day. But what we're doing here, what our primary focus on, is to improve things like critical thinking, to improve connecting old knowledge to new experiences. We're trying to improve logic if you're in geometry, and things like that. We're trying to improve the way we learn. And so we're going to give you a lot of skills, and there's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of reasons to take math rather than just tell me what I have to know for real life. And lastly, we talked about math anxiety. And math anxiety is real, and a lot of people have it, and a lot of people have it because, for different reasons. They're afraid of making mistakes. Some people struggle, for whatever reason, reading or numeracy. Some people just aren't very good at math, and some people feel like there's too much pressure on them. But it's hard to deal with. It does affect you physically also. It can give you headaches. It can give you stomach cramps or pains. And, obviously, like, when we get anxious, we start to sweat, and we, feel like the walls are closing in on us. And that comes back to the fight or flight response. And so if you take in biology, or if you remember biology, there's the fight or flight response when we're faced with danger or something unknown. We listed off ways to cope with anxiety, and because, knowing about anxiety is good, and then the next level is we have to cope with it. So Our class has put together a list of ideas, and right now I'm wondering if this is even going to work. There we go. So people said, take a break, get a snack, relax, just take breaks to breathe, relax for a little bit. I think the other one had a couple different other things, but there's definitely a difference between procrastination and taking a break. You do want to take breaks, but you don't want to procrastinate. Procrastinate does not deal with the cause of the anxiety, and it can lead to more anxiety. But definitely, find ways to relax. What you should do is make math fun. You're gonna get through your class if it's algebra 2 or whatever. I promise you, if you do it, you're gonna get through it. We're gonna pass, and we're gonna be okay. So if you can make it so, hey, we're gonna show up to class and just do our best and have fun, then you'll be surprised at how much less anxious you are towards it. Know that mistakes are okay. You're supposed to make mistakes to learn. As a teacher, if you're making mistakes and we're able to reflect on them, then that's how we see growth. If you did stuff you're good at and you never made mistakes, then you don't really get better at anything. So yeah, you don't face any anxiety, but the point of being in school is to grow. By the way, you should have a little bit of anxiety in your life. A little bit of anxiety is what keeps you up and keeps you working hard and keeps you motivated. If you had zero anxiety in your life, you would find yourself very non-productive. Um, Boy, that's a whole conversation right there. Set realistic expectations to yourself. Don't think that you're going to learn um, 3 years of math in 1 year. Don't go in saying everybody should get a 30 on the ACT. Not everybody's going to get a 30 on the ACT. Don't tell yourself, well, I'm going to get 100 on this test, and anything less than 100 is unacceptable. You don't set yourself up to fail. Like, you gotta know your level, and it's okay that everybody's on a different level. Give yourself positive self-talk. Tell yourself you can do it. Tell yourself it's going to be okay. Realize what anxiety is and what it looks like. If you can recognize what it is, then you can help yourself deal with it. And then practice math every day. When you practice math every day and when you take time to study, the anxiety goes away. There's an astronaut that quoted, the greatest antidote for fear is competency. Or in other words, if you're good at something, all the fear goes away. And I know that's not the exact quote, but that's paraphrasing. And the more you do math, the more you're comfortable with it, the less afraid you will be of it. And that's really a great way to deal with it. So if you ignore it, if you try to do less math, then that math anxiety might get bigger. All right, did I cover everything? Let's see, I got this. That's it. So we had a good second day. I know I'm exhausted already. Can't wait for the weekend. But hope you guys are doing okay and stay in touch.